All right, everyone, let's start. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining in for the first session of Talkmasters 2022 on mastering interviews and group discussions. I'm Nayanthara, a convener at We Speak IIT Bombay, our Speaking Arts Club, and I will be moderating the session today. I welcome our speaker, Mr. Manish Raj Sharma. He's a national award-winning trainer and life coach with more than 21 years of experience. We're very happy to have with us a mentor by credentials who trains and mentors students and working professionals. He is the CEO and Chief Training Analyst at MRS Training Services, the only training institute to get a Harvard certification in life skills and public speaking. He's an out and going and vivacious person who has motivated and groomed his students to excel in life. Today's session will provide you with actionable advice that you can integrate into your interview preparation. Mr. Manish, the stage is yours, and I hope all of us will have a great learning experience today.
Yes, thank you so much, Ananda, but I could only see you. I want everyone's mic and camera to be on so that I can feel those vibes, those aura, please.
Yes, so people have turned their cameras on.
All right. So I guess I need to switch on the other mode. That is... Okay. Great. All right, thank you so much for the introduction. Yes, my name is Manish Raj Sharma. The company is on my name only, MRS Training Services. I guess, do I have some issues here? As I now cannot see anyone. What happened? It's 6 participants, okay.
You could try putting gallery view, sir.
Gallery view, okay. Okay, great. Thank you. So I've been working since 1998. So it's good, 24 plus years of experience and 21 years mainstream into training. I started my career with McDonald's, India. Okay, 1998 to 2002. I worked there from crew member to manager. That was a great journey, right? So what I am going to tell you today, just note it down because, I'm a recruiter myself. So I would like to tell you the words which I want to listen as an interviewer or recruiter. So the very first thing that I learned on my very first job was the time management. So please write down this word, time management. Because during the interviews, when you make your CV and the kind of words that you say, there are certain keywords which interviewers always want to listen and they miss on those words, right? So time management. So from 2002 to 2005, I worked at Indira Gandhi International Airport, Singapore Airlines, okay? And the best thing I learned over there was stress management because everything goes smooth during summers and then comes the December or the first part of January, whenever, there's a fog, right? And when you say this sentence to your customer or to your passenger, that your flight is delayed by 4 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. So what kind of language and all beautiful words do they use? Okay, you can understand, kind of burst out. So there I learned how to handle stress. So stress management. These were two things that I learned. Before I start the session, allow me to tell you a story. May I, everyone?
Yeah.
Everyone, may I?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Call
sir.
me Manish. Call me Manish. Call me Manish. Don't call me sir. Sir, ma'am, ये बड़े लोगों के लिए छोड़ दो. Call me Manish. Okay. There was an archer, exhibiting his skills in a show, and he was so talented that he could shoot all the arrows right there in the bullseye, one by one. And the audience, in the awe of that archer, started cheering for him. Wow, what a talent. Wow, what a talent. But there's a man in the audience, instead of cheering for him, kept on saying, just a matter of practice. Just a matter of practice. Now this annoyed the archer. He went up to that man and asked him, do you know how much pain and practice does it take to shoot all the arrows right there in the bullseye? And instead of cheering for me like others, we're saying, just a matter of practice. Can you do this? So that man from the audience was an oil merchant. So what it did, it took out a can of oil and started pouring that oil from the can into a very narrow neck bottle, very narrow neck. And to your surprise, not even a single drop spilled. Now he asked the archer, "Can you do this?" Archer said, "Okay, give me a few days, I'll practice it and I can do this." Then the man said, "मैं भी तो यही कह रहा था. It's not a talent. It's just a matter of practice." Now, what's the point of telling you the story? Okay, that's an analogy basically. So I want to ask you, everyone, what do you practice? Tell me, what do you practice? Who wants to answer? What do you practice? So, did you understand the story?
Yes.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my question is, what do you practice? I mean, if you practice peace, you'll be good at it because you practice it. If you practice violence, you'll be good at it because you practice it. If you practice listening to others, you'll be good at it because you practice it. If you practice not listening to others, you'll be good at it because you practice it. So what do you practice? Like I practice my piano at night. I practice training skills. I practice mimicry. What do you all practice? Any sport or game or music that you like?
Sir, I practice lifting weights.
That's great. You'll be good at it, I'm sure, because you practice it. Same way, whenever we talk about interview, it is all about practice. No one in this world, including me, can make you equipped with all the training skills related to interviews or GD in just 1 hour or in just one day. The very first learning, you may write it down, you may put it as your WhatsApp status, you may put it as your Facebook status. The very first thing that you should learn is be one step ahead of everyone. I repeat, be one step ahead of everyone. Like you all have been taking online classes since how long?
Since our coaching days.
Yes, since 12th.
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Thanks to lockdown, right?
Yes.
Can we say that? Thanks to lockdown? And I have been taking online sessions. I've been imparting online sessions since 2009. So what you have been doing over the past 2-3 years, I've been doing for more than a decade. I mean, more than 12 years. Why? Because I understood this thing that I want to grow as a trainer. If I want my company, Analyst Training Services, to grow, I have to be one step ahead because I stay at Dwarka, New Delhi. Right? So the coaching center at my home. So people nearby used to come to my place and, we would have coaching regarding spoken skills, spoken English, communication skills, personality development. I did a lot of workshops on interviews in GD. People used to come. Great, fair enough. But what about the people who are not from Delhi? Haryana, Jammu, Singapore, Hong Kong, South, West, East, Punjab, Haryana, Kerala. And I was like, oh my God, I'm losing all the business. And then somehow I researched and got to know about Skype. I still use Skype for my sessions. Right? I said, wow, that's a wonderful thing. So I took 3-4 days to get equipped with the particular software. And 2009, I started giving training online. The very first thing I did. And I'm quite very happy that when this lockdown was announced, I was very much comfortable because I had the experience of a decade. And most of the people were actually very uncomfortable taking or giving online classes. But now everyone is equipped. So this is good. So very first thing that we have to learn is, or we have to equip is being one step ahead of opposition. So time management, stress management, and one step ahead of opposition. Great. Okay. Now, who can tell me the bloopers or the mistakes we do while giving an interview? Who can tell me? Let's talk. Okay. Because if you have a lot of questions, it will be good for all of us. If you participate, it will be good for us because I'm going to make it funny and interactive. So you have two choices. Okay. So pick up first choices. You want me to be very strict. Okay. Hi, good evening. My name is Manish Raj Sharma. I'm director and CEO of Analyst Services. Let's talk about interviewing GD. Or the second option is let's be friends and let's talk business. Which is the better option?
Second one. Other one.
Second.
On a business.
So how many of you say that second option is better?
Absolutely, second option is better.
All right. This picture of mine?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I train Indian Army. I can be as strict as the Indian Army instructor, or I can be as lenient as your friend. So what do you want? Which mode shall I equip in?
We are friends.
The second mode.
Second?
one.
All right. Jan, agree. I'm all in. Now tell me, what all bloopers or what all mistakes do we commit? You might have heard or given an interview or might have heard from the seniors while giving an interview.
Beating around the bush instead
Sorry?
of giving beating around the bush instead of giving direct answers.
Agree. Yes. What else?
Making up an answer if you're not sure.
Very good. What else?
Improper body language, like not having eye contact or like looking on the floor, something.
Okay.
Lack
Great.
of confidence.
Great.
Wrong answer.
Fair enough. Who else wants to add?
Repeating what is on the CV, like not adding anything new.
You got my point. Okay. What else?
Wearing bad clothes.
Right. Okay. I'm giving you 1 minute. Okay. Let's have an activity, a little bit of icebreaker. I'm giving you 1 minute. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes, all of you. Close your eyes. Okay. Now you are an entrepreneur. Just imagine that you are an entrepreneur and you have just launched a company of yours, obviously, entrepreneur, right? And you need 8 to 10 people to start with, as it is just a startup. So you require 8 to 10 people to start with in your organization. Couple for HR, a couple for sales, a couple of people for marketing, maybe for administration, etc., etc. Right? So close your eyes, and by just closing your eyes, write down what all expectations will you have from those people whom you have called for the interview. The word candidates. Candidate means candid people, okay, who are suitable for a job. So you have called 40, 50 people and you have to choose 10 out of them, the 10 best out of them or better. So what all expectations would you have from those candidates? You have 1 minute to write.
That he has the particular skills in which field I am requiring.
You're not audible enough, my dear.
He or she will buy skills.
Okay.
So I would like to check the management skill of those person. Also, I would like to check the skills related to the how they can work in a team or as a single entity.
Fair enough. Okay.
Enthusiasm of the candidate.
Okay. All right.
Since it's
So,
a startup,
how
I will
many of
look
you
for his patience.
patience?
Communication skills.
Communication skills. Okay. You got the point, all of you. Thank you. All right. So, how many of you have written body language on first point? How many of you? Okay. How many of you have mentioned communication skills? No one? No one mentioned communication skills.
Yeah, I mentioned communication skills.
Yes, sir. Also.
All right. How many of you have mentioned vocabulary and spoken English? The communication skills and spoken English, they both are two different things. You can communicate good in your own language, in your local language. But spoken English is totally different. How many of you have written a pleasing personality?
Kind of similar to.
All right. How many of you have written good organization skills, management skills, or organization skills?
I've written.
I've written that.
So the point here is whatever is expected by you from them is what the interviewers expect from you. I want to have some help from you, because normally I take classes on Skype, and whenever my clients call in like IIT Roorkee or Kharagpur or IIM, etc., so I'm always logged in from a laptop. Since my laptop has been taken by another trainer, to a training session, can you please tell me on my mobile, on this Android phone, though I am technical savvy, but I don't understand this mode, how to see all of you on screen as I just can see myself? Where to I can see Zoom option and then leave and then participants, stop video, mute. Shall I have to click on more?
Turn on the gallery mode.
Sorry?
Gallery mode.
Gallery mode, but where is the option?
There should be a small box at the top that says view.
It should be on the top of the screen.
View option.
More and unfortunately not. I can just see leave, zoom, camera.
Guys, he's using a phone. He's not using a laptop, so you can't see.
Gallery mode. Just swipe to the left.
Yeah, just swipe.
Just swipe it.
You can click the more option and there should be an option.
In more option, I see chat, request live transcription, meeting setting, background and effects, whiteboard, and disconnect audio.
Meeting settings.
Sir, scroll your screen to right, left.
Sir, put your finger on your screen and move it to the left.
Yeah, so you're on mobile phones. There really isn't a gallery view on your phone. So to see the participants, I think you'll have to swipe on your screen, and there should be like this bar dot that keeps going to different pages that show the video participants.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I can see Sritham, but I think the camera is off, right? And then Dhatri Mehta, the camera is off. So all of you, please switch on the camera so I can see you.
So people do have their cameras on.
Okay. So when I go to conduct training, the very first mistake or the very first group what they do is they don't understand the meaning of zero distance. Do you know what is a zero distance? Any idea?
No, sir.
Okay. Zero distance is basically the distance from the interviewer's door to the interviewer's table, means from the door to the table. And the very first mistake that we do is we are always silent. You have to walk while you have to talk while you walk. So never have a dead air. I'll tell you the entire scenario. See, if you have a good CV, that will only get you a job call. Do you agree or not? Not the job, but only the job call. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. A good CV will only get you a job. That's it. And your behavior, your personality, your mannerism, your answers, your impression will give you the job. That is 100% sure. Well, I trained for SSB and then UPSC, Army, etc., etc. Okay, why people prefer me for the interview? Because I know the insights of interview as a recruiter. What do I want to listen? I do not want to listen to may I come in. I literally do not want to listen to may I come in. First of all, the knocking at the door. You knock thrice when you go to someone's home. You knock twice when you enter your boss's cabin or your teacher's cabin. But you knock once while you enter the interviewer's room. Can you tell me why? Why do you only knock once?
Because they already know someone is waiting.
If we knock one or more two times, then it will show the patient's level is not there.
Yes, very good. Of course, the patient's level. And why will you knock once? Because you are already being anticipated by the interviewer. He knows, okay, send this next person in, send the next person in, send the next candidate in. So you are already anticipated by the interviewer, and that is why we always knock once. Second step, when you open the door, okay, may I come in? Now, may I come in is grammatically incorrect sentence. The teacher is in the class is grammatically incorrect sentence. The students are in the class is grammatically incorrect sentence. Now let me make it more funny and lucrative for you. You all understand Hindi, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm giving you a Hindi sentence, a challenge for you. All right. And try to translate this sentence into English, and I'll give you $10 million, which of course I don't have. So who wants to take up the challenge?
Obviously, everyone.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I'm not able to see anyone? I mean, like.
So if you
You'll be
swipe,
able
you
to
should be
see
able
four
to.
Just
participants in the.
swipe on the right. You'll be able to see.
I'm swiping right. I can see your names, Harshvardhan, okay, Shashank, Divya, but I cannot see anyone. I don't know
Like
why.
more.
It might
you
be
need
a
to
poor connection. Yeah.
you need to turn
Okay.
on incoming video.
In settings, there should be an option to turn on incoming.
Okay. Yes. Now I can see. Because my option was off, stop incoming video. Now I can see lovely faces. All right. So the sentence is Dulha Dulan ke sindoor. I'm just checking the grammar. Okay. Vocabulary. Dulha Dulan ke sindoor se मांग भरकर मुकुट पहन के रथ पे गोलगप्पे खाने गया और ढोल बजाता वापस आया जूठे गिलास से पानी पीने पूर्ण विराम. Translate this into English. Now $10 million. दुल्हा दुल्हन की सिंदूर से मांग भर के रथ पे गोलगप्पे खाने गया और ढोल बजाता हुआ वापस आया जूठे गिलास से पानी पीने. चलो इंग्लिश बनाओ इसकी. यही बोलते हैं ना. I come in, may I come in is grammatically incorrect sentence actually. Come on, tell me in English. Tell me, and then after that, you have to speak the tongue twisters. Then Siddharth Naktis, one is Udoskan, was Inu Sudora, was suffering for pneumonia can be microscopic like organisms. I saw Susie sitting on a shoe shine shop. Here she sits, she shines and we shine, she sits. Seashells at the seashore. Come on. Okay, so the best thing here is, okay, it's not your fault. Okay, it's basically the system that we focus more on writing and less on speaking. In our era, especially, it was like that. Okay, the first thing that you have to do is you really have to improve your communication skills. really, because it is a myth that, oh wow, I get a job, I got a job, wow. This is what, if we are connected on LinkedIn, okay, I keep on uploading my videos. That is what I talk at IIT Kharagpur and Roorkee. It's very easy to get a job in India. It's very difficult to maintain it. A lot of people get job. A lot of people become entrepreneurs. How many of you know that 74 to 77% of startups in India over the last decade has been shunned?
I thought it is due to this lockdown only.
No, it's I said the decade, even before the lockdown. It's very easy to get a job. It's very easy to set up a startup. It's very difficult to maintain it. It's very easy to buy a bike. It's very easy to buy a car. It's difficult to maintain it.
Sir, actually, you tell in the starting of the meeting that first of all, time management is necessary to maintain the startup, and there is much stress in maintaining a startup or any business. So we should manage that properly.
Exactly. It's very easy to buy a house. It's difficult to maintain it. And where do we lose on maintenance is the time management. Okay, making best possible use of time and resources. Procrastination. How many of you suffer from procrastination? कल कर लेंगे, परसों कर लेंगे, right? So, okay, great. It happens with everyone. Even I get a lot of call. Manish, I want to join your interview skills training program, communication, etc., etc. Okay, when do you want to join? Sir, from Sunday. And then Sunday comes. Sir, from next week. After summer holidays. No, sir, after Dussehra, after Eid, after Diwali, after Rakhi, and then comes 31st of December, International Motivational Day, 1st of January. I'll start waking up early in the morning. I'll go for a walk. I'll shout out some weights. I'll read English newspaper. I will not go to social media. I will only talk to positive people. That only lasts for 2 days or 3 days maximum. 4th day, back to square one. A start is what stops people. This is what I believe in. It's very easy to make a start. It's very difficult to stop that particular task. Okay, Mang with Sindoor. Okay, well tried. Okay, Mang is Troyos, Sindoor is Vermilion. Okay, Golgappa is water ball. Okay, Taj is tiara. Okay, Rath is handsome. Chariot is buggy. This is handsome. May I have your reverence to come inside, or may I, sir, or may I, ma'am? Don't use may I come in the very first step. Don't use may I come. You have been taking interviews for so long, and you have been listening to this particular sentence over the years. May I come in? Yes. May I come in? Yes. May I come in? Yes. And suddenly someone says, may I have your reverence to come inside? Reverence, V as in victory, not reference. May I have your reverence to come inside? And suddenly you look at the interviewee, right? Because your ears just heard something new. This is what we call the first impression. Or may I come inside? Okay. Now, it depends on the interviewer. I intentionally take stress interviews. Have you ever given stress interviews? Okay. So, what's your name? Sir, yes, Nayantara. Can you please share your experience of stress interview?
It wasn't entirely a stress interview, but during our convener interviews, there were parts where they tried to test us by putting us in situations where, like we would have to have some sort of time crunch or pressure to do something.
Great. I tell you what a stress interview is. I'm taking the interview. You all are waiting for your turn. Suddenly you come, okay, anticipating that if I go to ask, may I come inside or may I come in? You would say yes. All right, sir, may I come in? No. And suddenly the reaction. They get nervous. Very simple thing is, okay, after how much time shall I come again, sir? Very simple. Very simple. Okay, next step. Come. Sit. So intentionally we take the interview. Sit. And then the person sits on the, did I ask you to sit on the chair? Look at my eyes. Did I ask you to sit on the chair? He or she would stand up and, shivering, panicking, nervous. They would sit on the couch. Did I ask you to sit on the couch? And then they would sit on the floor. Did I ask you to sit on the floor? And they start crying. Like, come on, just ask, where shall I sit, Mr. Manish? Or where shall I sit, recruiter? Where shall I sit, sir? Where shall I sit, ma'am? Just ask. Don't be a puppet in the interview. We need you as a recruiter. You don't need a job. We need people. We need, candidates. Why to take so much of nervousness into your veins? Okay. Third, good morning, sir. May I come in? Yes. So that is the zero distance where you are supposed to carry your CV like this. I mean, your CV, your name should be pointing out at the interviewer. Don't give CV like this. Ye pakad tip 10 rupees. Please. So all your visiting cards and all your CVs and all your project reports are supposed to be given like this. 2 thumb here and then this. So that is a zero distance. Okay. So during the zero distance, I'll tell you how girls are supposed to carry their folder. Girls are supposed to carry their folder in the left hand like this. Okay. And boys are supposed to carry the folder like this. If you are a northpaw, then the left hand, ye lefty righty kuch nahi hota. Improve communication skills. Okay. If you want, personally, okay, on friendship basis, I can have a session tomorrow as well for 1 hour for interview and communication. But please make sure that you take this session seriously. So if you are a northpaw, means you use right hand, keep your folder in the left. And if you are a southpaw, you use your left hand, keep the folder at your right. And make sure that the CV is already clipped outside the folder. Okay, so avoid this situation in front of the interviewer. May I have your CV? Yes, sir. Nikal. Aisa nahi hona chahiye. Supposed to do like this. So make sure it is already clipped out. So, may I have your reference to come inside? Don't wish. Good morning, sir. May I come in? Yes. Thank you, sir. Sit. Thank you, sir. Tell me something about yourself. Good morning, sir. My name is Manish and this is... What the hell is this? इतनी तो मॉर्निंग गुड की तुमने बैड बना दी मेरी इतनी बार विश कर करके okay so may I have your reference to come inside if there is one interviewer then sir if there is a lady then ma'am if there are 2 interviewers good evening to both shall I come in and if there is a panel like 4-5 people don't say like this morning sir morning ma'am morning sir morning ma'am please morning panel may I come inside morning panel okay yes please come thank you ho gaya morning ho gaya that's it and then while walking from the door to the interviewer's table hardly it is like what 5 meters 3 meters 2 meter 20 inches whatever the the distance is you have to carry the folder as I told you okay sir my name is Manish Raj Sharma and here is my CV step over next do not sit unless and until asked to I've seen so many students who come and just sit how many of you have seen that movie Amitabh Bachchan's Zanjeer जब तक बैठने के लिए ना कहा जाए बैठो मत ये पुलिस स्टेशन है तुम्हारे समझ गए okay so when he says take your seat or she says take your seat sure sir sure no morning is over thank you is over and you're sitting next tell me something about yourself now as rightly said by one of you when we ask tell me something about yourself please don't say anything that is already mentioned in the CV. We know your name. We have come for the campus drive. We know that you are from IIT Bombay. We have seen your percentage. We have seen your, internships, project handling, etc., etc. The extracurriculum activities that you do, etc., etc. We have seen that. Please do not mention anything which is there in the CV. Good morning, sir. My name is Manish Raj Sharma, and I have done my schooling from this and this school. Now look at this communication. I have done my schooling from Sachdeva Public School. It sounds as weird as my father is a male and my mother is female. Like you say, he's my cousin brother. I don't know, cousin के साथ brother क्यों लगाते? कहाँ से आ गया ये system? So where is this communication? He's my cousin. Simple. Cousin is always supposed to be the brother. He's my cousin and she is my real sister. ये real है वो क्या artificial है? So if you have a sibling, so she is my sibling and he is my cousin. Or he is my biological brother, he is my cousin. Real sister and she is artificial. Okay. So always mention the things which are not there in the CV. The only thing that you would mention there is the meaning of your name. So please write down the question number 1. Tell me something about yourself and the steps that you're going to say. Number 1, the meaning of your name. Number 2, what kind of male or female are you? So if I may have to ask Harshvardhan, what kind of male are you?
That doesn't make,
Sorry?
I mean, that doesn't make much of a sense.
Okay. And how do you pronounce this name? Dhatri? Dhatri or Dhatri?
It's Dhatri.
Dhatri. Okay, Dhatri, what kind of female are you?
I didn't really get the question.
What kind of female are you? आप किस तरह की महिला है? What kind of female are you? Which type of female are you? Okay, Dhatri and Harshvardhan, ask me the same question.
What kind of a male?
70% omega, 30% sigma. So there are some personality traits about males and female: alpha male, alpha female, beta female, gamma female, sigma female, omega female, data female. There are personality traits. A lot of free personality tests available on YouTube and Google. Please conduct that. The first step is the meaning of your name. Second is your personality traits. Okay, so Nayantara, please, if you're the moderator here, so please tell me the interested candidates who would like to have a free session from me tomorrow. Okay, anytime in the afternoon or in the evening or in the morning. So I'll give you some extra thing on communication and CV, because in just 1 hour, I don't think so I'll be able to provide that much of knowledge. So it happens with everyone. Okay.
Sure.
Fine. So second is personality traits. Third point: never talk about your family unless and until asked to. Never talk about that. Instead, talk about your genre. You know what is genre? Say yes or no at least, please.
Field of interest.
Kind of things that we like.
Yes. Normally we pronounce it as genre. So we write it as G-E-N-R-E, but it is genre. So always talk about your genre, okay? The kind of traits that you like, okay? The things that you like. Fourth, the learning. Next point is your learning outcome from the corporate exposure. So what is the corporate exposure? Corporate exposure is your internship and projects that you handled. Because you cannot write all those things in the detail in CV. Next is your areas of interest.
Hello, sir.
Come on, ask me. Manish, where do you want to see yourself after 5 years?
Hey Manish, where you wanna see yourself after 5 years?
Sir, after 5 years, I would like to see myself in a position where I am going to be the part of every decision-making meeting or committee in this office. Now, indirectly, you have said that you would, occupy some higher position after 5 years. Because whenever there is a meeting regarding the decision of a company, of course, executives or junior executives or interns, they are not called. Not even the middle level managers, the SVPs, AVPs, senior managers, area supervisors, they are called. So never mention any particular designation from your own mouth. Just indirectly say that after 5 years, I would like to see myself in a decision-making body, or maybe training others, training the new recruits, hiring the new recruits, or assisting the HR department, training people on sales, training people to develop softwares. So as per your expertise, right, you can write down all these things. So the crux here is don't mention at the either side of the table, never mention a particular designation. Third question, why should I hire you? Avoid this phrase, you should hire me. When you say you should hire me, you are actually compulsing the other person to hire you. The best phrase here is, I believe I should be hired, ma'am, or panel, or sir, because I reckon I have the ability to convert ideas into results. Don't say that I'm a hard worker. Bhara pada ye desh aur ye duniya hard workers. You should hire me because I have good communication skills. Has की जगह had लग रहा है, had की जगह have लग रहा है. Von Jose को Van Hussein बोले जा रहे हैं, but excellent communication skills. I have a duplex house. उसको duplex बोले जा रहे हैं. Multiplay को multiplex बोलते हैं, but I have great communication skills. Yes. Okay. So never mention this thing. You should have it because I have good communication skills, etc., etc. I am an excellent teamwork, a fresher who hasn't worked anywhere, but I am an excellent team player. And when I ask, because I am expecting answers like this, yes, I am an excellent team player because I have handled projects with my team. I've done so many presentations, internal presentations. So, sir, I haven't worked anywhere. But why have you mentioned excellent team building skills and leadership skills? And they're quiet. I don't know why. You're not going there as a slave. You're going there as a candidate. What is interview? The internal view of the people. We would like to listen to you. We like to hear you. Don't get nervous. Never. So nervousness is good, but it only lasts for first 30 seconds. Okay. Next question. What are your weaknesses? Now, I don't know how many of you answer this, but normally did I get answers like this? Weakness. Sir, I'm emotional food.
Excuse me, sir?
I just steer off such CVs. My weakness is that I'm workaholic. I'm still to get a person who introduced this word workaholic. What is workaholic? How can it be a weakness? You work for 10 hours, you don't give any productivity, you're workaholic. You work for 3 hours and you have given a better result, it means you have worked. My weakness is that I trust others. Oh, come on. You are a human being. You have heart, left, right auricles and left, right ventricles. You are supposed to trust others. That's a common human trait. Now, who's going to ask me this question? Manish, what are your weaknesses?
Hey, Manish, what are your weaknesses?
Sir, my weaknesses are I am very fond of music. I'm a die-hard fan of Michael Jackson and all, but I cannot sing well because my voice is very good for training. It's very brash for singing. Moreover, sir, I also believe that one of my greatest weaknesses is that I can't cook food because it happens, my family is outside for a few days, going to the native places, and I have to order everything from outside, which is not hygienic. And I'm also very fond of traveling, but I cannot swim because I have hydrophobia. So what I did, I spoke my weaknesses out. I told my weaknesses. I mentioned my weaknesses, but none of my weaknesses were related to my task, job, or profile that I'm interviewing for.
But what if they specifically ask you that what weaknesses of yours will hamper you yourself in the job? I mean, that's what the interviewer is expecting, right? If you are not good at music and you are applying for a coding job, it is irrelevant to them.
Okay, very good question. Now, if the interview asks, okay, or pursue you or grill you, so these are the weaknesses which are not at all related to the profile. Tell me the weakness. Though 80 to 85% of the interviewers, those who actually know how to take an interview, would understand that you have played smarter. They would understand, that's for sure. Hardly there would be 15% people who would like to grill you on this. No, tell me the weaknesses that can be harmful to us or can be a weakness to the organization. Then you come up with your genuine weaknesses. Never lie in the interview. Never lie in the interview. Okay? If you are short-tempered, how many of you are short-tempered? No one? You have to speak. Don't raise your hands.
I am.
Okay. So if you are short-tempered, don't say, sir, my weakness is that I'm very short-tempered. This can go negative. Again, it's not important what you say, but how you say is important. Sir, one of my greatest weaknesses on which I've been working for the past few months is that I need to learn how to be more tender. And I know, sir, or I know, ma'am, I'll come out with flying colors. I'll give you a better example of this. It's not important what you say or how you say is important. I came for a trash walk in your, or maybe a path walk in your college, and you all were making noise in the classroom because there was no teacher. I came and say, hello, excuse me. Stop behaving like animals. You'll feel bad, right? He's come from Delhi to train us, and how can, he say, stop behaving like animals. But making best possible use of my experience in communication skills. What if I enter your class, I peep inside, and with a smile on my face and say, my dear friends, I really appreciate if you start behaving like human beings again. See, you will smile. बात एक ही बोली मैंने, जानवरों की तरह व्यवहार ना करो, but in a different way. Same way, put your weaknesses in passive voice. Okay, not in active voice, in passive voice. Short-tempered. Number second, never say this thing to the interviewer, my weakness is that I cannot listen. No. You are intimidating the interviewer. आप उसको डरा रहे हो कि भाई तू मुझे ना बोलेगा तो तू क्या काम से? Please don't do that. This is all WhatsApp university. This is all Facebook university. This is all YouTube university. Anything that we see, we watch, we tend to go and talk to the interviews like this. No, never do that. Be genuine. Be genuine. Second, what are your strengths? Now, strengths are related to the company profile because your personal strength would always be, or professional strength would always be strength to everyone, whether it is a company or as an individual or maybe for yourself. Okay. Now, here comes the catch, right? I request everyone, okay, to please improve your communication skills because communication skills is not only about tenses, it is about psychology. It is about right choice of words. It is about abridged vocabulary. Please improve your communication skills so that you can mention this in your CV. Don't mention excellent communication skills, good communication skills. Because if you have good communication skills, but your message is not effective, then it is of no use. So effective communication skills. Only if you have effective communication skills. And to have a very good communication skill, you have to understand the psychology of our own self and psychology of others. That is communication. आग में जल जाने से क्या होता है?
जलन होती है।
जी बताएं, आग में जल जाने से क्या होता है?
जल जाते हैं।
जल जाते हैं। ओके, वेरी गुड. What if I say that आग में जल जाने से आग बुझ जाती है? You don't trust me? आग लगाओ, जल डाल के देख लो. अब तुमने जल सोचा जलने वाला, and you forgot that जल means पानी. So आग में जल जाने से क्या होता है? आग में जल जाने से आग बुझ जाती है. And everyone, most of you were thinking, जल जाते हैं. अच्छा हो तो अच्छा हुआ. आप में से कोई वो नहीं है क्या, इंटेलेक्चुअल टाइप का? सर आग में जल जाने से हम कुछ सीख के बाहर निकलते हैं, तब के बाहर निकलते हैं. We become ornaments after getting melted under the fire. Thank God बच गया मैं. Thank you for being my savior. Simple. How many months in a year have 31 days?
8.
Count it if you can. How many months in a year have 31 days? Who's going to answer me? Just imagine you ask me a question or a query and I'm quiet. How would you feel?
We were just wondering if it is a trick question.
Okay, how many months in a year have 31 days?
7.
7.
7.
7 months.
How many months in a year have 30 days?
13.
11.
4 plus 11.
Yeah, 11.
11, sir.
11.
How many months in a year have 28 days?
All of
12.
the months have to.
Depends on leap year.
Now, this is what we see on YouTube, what we see on Facebook, what we see on Instagram, as I mentioned earlier. Now, a question for you. A father and son were going in a car. I repeat, a father and son were going in a car. They met with an accident. मैं ऐसे ही इंटरव्यू का सेशंस देता हूं ताकि बच्चा जब जाए तो पूरा खुल के जाए. That is how I prepare students on interviews in GD. A father and son were going in a car. They met with an accident. The father died on the spot. The local by villagers took the son to the hospital, admitted him to ICU. When doctor was called, when doctor entered, doctor started crying and yelling out loud, "Oh my God, he is my son. Please save him." How is this possible?
The doctor
Doctor can be a father of the church.
Okay. Yes, the doctor was his mother. हमारा mind कहाँ जा रहा है? Doctor male. Like if someone asks, भाई धात्री, आपकी बेटी धात्री क्या करती है जी न्यूज में? कभी देखा तो नहीं उसको जी न्यूज पढ़ते हुए. क्यों HR नहीं हो सकती, सेल्स नहीं हो सकती, बैकएंड नहीं हो सकती, IT हेड नहीं हो सकती, कंटेंट डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो सकती. आपका बेटा मनीष क्या करता है? एयर इंडिया में. क्या लाइफ होगी ना पायलट की. जमीन पे HR मैनेजर नहीं हो सकता, सेल्स हेड नहीं हो सकता, मार्केटिंग हेड नहीं हो सकता, HR हेड नहीं हो सकता. So this we actually have to come out of our comfort zone. Then only we would realize what is interview. Interview is all about psychology. Whether it is the audition for MTV Roadies, that's psychology. Whether it is our army, psychology. Whether it is UPSC, psychology. NDA, CDS, it's all about psychology. And why don't we understand? Why do people run after trainers like us? Manisha, what should I mention in my CV? What should I mention in the cover letter? What should I mention in the answer to the question? Why should I hire you? Where do you want to see yourself for 5 years, etc., etc.? Because I have spent most of my time of my life in peeping into others' life. किसके घर में क्या चल रहा है? कौन किसके साथ जा रहा है? कौन किसके साथ आ रही है? वो क्या कर रही है? वो क्या कर रहा है? I have spent most of the time, and I did not spend even 30 minutes every day to peep into my own life. What makes me happy? If I ask you a question today, what makes you happy? You might have a different answer today. Tomorrow morning, you might have a different answer. Tomorrow afternoon, you might have a different answer. What makes you sad? What makes me angry? Today, you might have a different answer. Maybe after 2 hours, when you were angry over your family, you would say, my mother makes me angry. Next morning, when you see anyone misbehaving with poor, you would say, no, it's a misbehavior makes me angry. So everything is all about psychology. Now we have covered up how to handle a folder, how to walk inside, how to wish, when to sit. Tell me something about yourself. Why should I hire you? Where do you want to see yourself after 5 years? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? The most important question. Why only you amongst all the candidates? What would you say? Nayantara, how much time do we have?
About half an hour more so.
Half an hour.
And some
Okay.
questions.
Why only you out of the next 15, 20 people? Why should I only hire you? What would you say?
If you find a better candidate than me, then I'll have no objections.
Okay, that's fine. For me, students are never wrong. So whenever I ask you a question, make sure Okay, make sure that you just speak. For me, students are never wrong. You have your own views. Okay. What else? Who else?
You will come to know. You will know when you hire me after I work for some time.
Okay, great. Who else?
मुझे एक्सपीरियंस लोगों के साथ काम करने को मिलेगा और आप जिस मिशन के साथ खड़े हुए हैं मैं भी उन्हीं वैल्यूज में बिलीव करता हूँ
ये भी ठीक है fair enough okay अच्छा 2 3s are 6 3 2s are 6 4 plus 2 is 6 11 minus 5 is 6. Okay. So same way, when you have already told, why should I hire you? The answer should always remain the same. Why only you? Don't give different answers to different, twisted questions. We do it intentionally. What are your strengths? Why should I hire you? Why only you? How are you different from others? And avoid this phrase, as I already told you that I have the abilities to convert ideas into result. इसका मतलब है कि आप इंटरव्यू को बोल रहे थे, को समझ में नहीं आती एक चीज जब मैंने बता दी. ऐसे कभी नहीं बोलते. As I told you. Okay. So always say this thing. I always take pride to say that I have the abilities to convert ideas into results. Because if I don't convert my idea to a result, it is an undone task for me, sir or ma'am. Okay, now before I forget, before I take on some questions and tell you some important things about GT and communication, I would like to tell you a miss out here. It depends on interviewer. If they ask you this question, tell me something about yourself. So just ask them, sir, shall I mention all the things which are not there in the CV? Always ask them. Okay, ask them first. If they say, no, just go through our CV. Or, sorry, take me through your CV. Then you would go through your CV. If they say, yes, please don't mention the things which are already in the CV, then you talk about those 5-6 points which I mentioned. This is the basic crux of interview. Now, there are 3 things that to be noted. Number 1, think like an interviewer. We always see the kind of enthusiasm or interest you have in taking up this job. And how do you create that impression? By doing a thorough homework on the company, because they ask you, why do you want to join us? Why do you want to join this organization? Never say it is a reputed organization. Every organization is a reputed one. Like, when I go through the career objective, so 80% people have same career objective. To work in an organization where I can utilize this or copy-paste university. You never work in an organization, you work with an organization. So I'm working with Google, I'm working with Adobe, I'm working with Infosys, I'm working with TCS. I'm working with Tesla, not in. So the interest and enthusiasm. Number second, the kind of homework that you have done. And number third, don't show the desperation to get a job. If they ask you, are you being interviewed by other companies as well? Say yes. Everyone knows that you are. Everyone knows. Try to negotiate. जो interviewer होता है, he or she is just like a businessman. What do you think? You feel happy when you say, I got this top or this t-shirt or this pair of jeans in 50% sale? There is nothing known as sale or discount. देखा 10 रुपए की चीज नेगोशिएट करके मैं 4 रुपए में लेके आया वो चीज ऑलरेडी 1.5 रुपए की होती है. What do you think?
Yes.
You're not fool enough in the market. Those who are doing business. Huh? You have to be firm. When you will work, you want your salary on time, right? Same way, when students join me, I don't give them any installments or discount. सीधा पैसे जमा कराओ, अगले दिन से class start. Same goes with the interviewer. The moment we ask you something, you have to be blunt and never say that I don't work for money. Never say that. Everyone works for money. Everyone survives for money, that's for sure. But there is always a way to tell up something. Okay? Sir or ma'am, everyone works for 5 main factors. All right? For example, if they ask you, why do you want to join our organization? You have gone through the company. Okay? So if you're going to ask me, Manish, why do you want to join, say, for example, if I say, you all have a very wonderful name. So how do you pronounce this? Savaliya? Savalia or Savalia?
It's Savalia.
Savalia. Okay. Savalia, if he asked me, Manish, why do you want to join Savalia Incorporated, LLP, etc., etc. So I would say, sir, I would like my name to be associated with Savalia Incorporated, which has won these many awards over these many years, and the company which has grown from this to this since its inception. So here comes the point number 1, which I told you, that we like to see your interest in joining our organization. You feel better when people call you by your name. I don't know why, if I call you, if you have my number saved, if I call you, we'll say hello. Hello is for strangers. Screen pe likha aa raha hai, Manish Raj Sharma calling. Hi Manish, how are you? It makes you feel better, right? It makes you feel good. Same way, when you've done a thorough homework of the organization, recruiters feel good. Okay. Any further questions regarding the interview skills?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So you mentioned in the fourth point, fourth step, then you don't have to go through your resume. You said your learning outcomes for the corporate exposure. How do you phrase that kind of stuff?
How do you phrase that kind of?
If you want to entail something that you learn at an internship, how do you say it? Do you put it in words?
Okay, very good. Okay, now if person asks you, about your corporate exposure, this and this, the very first keyword which you're supposed to use it, sir, during my tenure with MRS Training Services, I'm just taking my company as an example, during my tenure, TENURE, Tango, Echo, November, Union, Romeo, Echo. During my tenure with MRS Training Services, I realized that individual's capacity is as important as working in a team. Because sometimes people ask you, would you like to work in a team or individual? If you say in a team, so they might, question your credibility. If you say, no, I would like to work alone, they might question your values. So here you have to strike the balance, and the balance is during my tenure with MRS Training Services, I realized, this is an example, as I told you, I cannot inculcate everything in just 1.5 hours. Okay, I realized that individual work is as important as teamwork. Moreover, I have inculcated the fact that if internal customers are happy, now who are internal customers? Internal customers are the employees. If the internal customers are happy, then only they will make external customers happy. Who are your external customers? Your clients and your customers. So, mention during my tenure with MRS Training Services, while working as an intern at the capacity of public speaker at MRS Training Services, I realized, I inculcated, I agog, AGOG, I fostered the skills, I agog the skills, I imbibed the skills, I inculcated the skills. So use these phrases. You just have to break the monotonies in the interview. Break the monotony. That's it. Any further question on interview skills?
I have a question. Like, how would you answer the question which is asked in the end? That would you like to ask something to us?
Oh, golden question. Very golden question. All right. Now at the last, do you have some questions for us? 95% candidates. No, sir. जाने दे भाई तू बस मुझे यहाँ से जाने दे इस तरह से बाहर निकलूँ मैं. Don't do that. Again, the point number one, the interest. ठीक है? अच्छा, like I won't tell you the name of the institute. तो मैंने ऐसे बोल दिया बच्चों को, मतलब बेटा तो ना 1-2 महीने उनको अच्छे से ट्रेन करके इंटरव्यू में क्वेश्चन पूछ लेना इंटरव्यूअर से. अब मैं जल्दी में था because I have to take my flight off from Bangalore to Delhi back, right? And then अगले दिन फोन आ गया, सर वो इंटरव्यू में मेरा सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ. क्यों? Because the interviewer started shouting at me over my questions which I asked her at last. So what did you ask? So you told us that always ask few questions if the interviewer asks you, do you have any questions? I said yes. So what did you ask? What that boy asked, ma'am, how many foreign trips do the employees get in a year? Though it was my mistake, I would have trained them. But again, I thought that it is a premier institute, so they might have some sense to use it. But that's okay. Everyone commits mistake. So question number 1. Okay, sir, I'm very eager to know the happiness quotient of my team and happiness quotient of the employees. Because I am of a jolly nature. Like if you ask me personally, I'm of very jolly nature. So that is why I asked you in the beginning, how do you want me to train you, like as a friend or maybe as a brash trainer? So if you would have said number 1, I think only 20 people would have been here so far. Okay, so question number 1, I would like to know. Okay, number 2, I would like to know the value-based activities for the employees. Like, they go for outbound training. Like there are many companies in India, MNC especially, those who have Fun Friday. So Saturday, Sunday is the off, and Friday you can have casual wear, you can have activities, you can dance, you can sing, etc., etc. So something like this. 3rd, I would like to know more about my team leader and supervisor and their journey, sir. फिर आपको बताएंगे, he is good, she is good, she is very cooperative, he is very cooperative, so that you feel relaxed. So yes, I'm under the right hands. Don't ask the revenue, don't ask the salary. Don't just ask anything out of the curiosity, foreign trips, etc., etc. Just ask about the employee engagements.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So you mentioned about the work culture point, that is the employee engagement, but generally companies do have a pre-placement talk kind of thing. So in that, some of their employees mention about the work culture and all. Like, is it still advised to, even in the interview, should we ask this question back?
Yes, yes, yes. See, work culture and all, as you rightly said, it is already mentioned over there somewhere in the website or maybe in the JD, in the KRA. But once you go through that particular culture, okay, you have a certain points to discuss. I'll give you my own example. It's a very good question. I'll give you my own example while working with Singapore Airlines. So I went to this world's best airline, always on time, second best airline after Emirates, Qatar Airways, etc. So I was really very excited. So I saw over there that, you get a paid leave on your birthday anniversary. So I read that. So wow, wonderful. Monday to Friday. Moreover, my birthday anniversary comes on 13th of August. Wow, 13th of August chutti, 14th of August holiday, 15th of August holiday. Wow, so 3 days continuously. So I just asked them, sir, I have just read on the website that, we are being given a paid leave on a birthday anniversary, or, if there is couple working over there in the office, then marriage anniversary coupons are given, etc., etc. I would like to know what are the reasons behind it. And then they said the reason behind it is that we want to have the internal customer retention. Unless you won't be happy, how will you make others happy? Like, I don't know whether you know it or not, but there's a culture in Google, Infosys, and TCS. If your work shifts are from 9 to 6, if your work is over by 4, they ask you to go home. Go home and enjoy with your family. Once in a year or 6 months, families are called off the employees. Even we do that. Even I do that when I conduct corporate training. There's a surprise given to all the employees. So I call up their spouses. Ma'am, your husband or unke husband ko phone kiya, your wife is working with this organization. I'm a corporate trainer, and I would like you to enter sharp at 3 p.m. So they get surprised. Oh wow, what is he doing here? What is she doing here? That is the part of happiness that we inculcate in the training. Okay, so grill them when they ask if you have any questions. So of course, just show the interest. Okay, don't ask about the salary. You would know the salary in advance, just for sure. The JD and KRA has the salary, has the package. Okay, don't talk about transportation. You would already know it, beforehand. Only about employee engagement. Only about employee engagements. That's it. Any further question on interview? No? Okay. Now, just write down 10 steps for corporate survival. I'm not here only to train your interview. I would like to give you some tips so that you survive in the corporate later. 10 golden tips for corporate survival. Number 1, improve communication skills. Improve communication skills. How many of you have problems with English grammar?
Me.
No one?
I have.
I also have.
I also have.
Karan, make sure that you improve your grammar ASAP, because we have gone through Ren and Martin for good 14, 15 years in the school, if I'm not wrong, 12 years, maybe 13 years. But still we struggle with the English language because our system says, learn it and write it. क्योंकि बोलने पे सिर्फ punishment मिलती थी हमें. कौन बोला हाथ ऊपर खड़ा हो जाओ? कौन बोला मुर्गा बन जाओ? कौन बोला क्लास से बाहर? घर पे आते थे, शोर मचाते थे, तो पापा आते, ओए चुप हो जाओ. मम्मी चुप हो जाओ, शोर मचा के रखा हुआ, किसी के घर के बाहर जाके खेलो, अरे निकलो यहाँ से, शोर मचा के रखा हुआ। फिर जब बच्चा कॉलेज जाता है तो लोग बोलते हैं हमारा बच्चा कुछ बोलते ही नहीं जी। Okay, so please improve your grammar. It's really very, very important. Without wasting any time, a start is what stops people. Don't say that I'll start from Monday, I'll start from Tuesday. That tomorrow never comes in life. Never comes. आज से ही look for any institute, look for anything, but make sure that you start right from today or maybe from tomorrow, maximum tomorrow. ये हमेशा ध्यान रखें. Okay, improve your spoken English at any cost. However, there is an irony into it that interviews are always taken in English language and still your work profile is to speak in Hindi with customers and others. But that's the irony, as I mentioned, irony. Okay, number second, after finishing your spoken English, improve your communication skills. That is the choice of words and war of words. The choice of words are very important. सही इंसान के सामने सही शब्द का इस्तेमाल करना is what we call right choice of words. Using the right word in the right situation in front of the right or the wrong person is what we call choice of word. Choice of words. We call it as cow and wow, war of words and choice of words. Number third, instead of judging others, analyze your personality. Instead of judging others, analyze your personality. Fourth, spread shared leadership. Spread shared leadership. Normally, when we ask anyone, what is the meaning of leadership? It says to lead from example or the procedure to leading from the front. Fine, fair enough. Now ask me, Manish, who is the leader? Who's going to ask me? I'll give you a golden definition of who's a leader.
Manish, who is the leader?
A leader is the one who makes leaders.
Wow.
I was in your city. I was in Mumbai in March end, I guess. I'm a panel at Republic TV. So even I said this live on Republic TV. A leader is the one who makes leaders, because if you are giving instructions and people are following you, then they are not leaders. They are just puppets who have been following you on some instructions. A leader is the one who makes leaders. Next, sixth point. Make best possible use of the resources available. Make best possible use of the resources available. Shashank, Sheetam, Aditya, and all my friends, Nayantara, Dhatri, Savalya, Harshvardhan, if I come to your home, okay, and you are supposed to serve me a cold coffee, okay, maybe a juice, maybe any soft drinks like Coke, Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Fruity. To make it cold, you will put ice cubes into it, right? Am I right? Say yes or no?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But don't you think it will make it more soggy and there would be no taste? Because then, water would be up and the density of juice would be down. If you come to my place, okay, if I had to serve you a cold coffee, roux afza milk, fruity, or any of the soft drinks, I'll make sure that a night before, I filled the entire ice cube tray not with water, but the same beverage that I'm supposed to serve you tomorrow morning. समझे? मेल्ट भी होगा तो सेम टेस्ट देगी और ठंडा का ठंडा रहेगा, क्योंकि आपने पानी की आइस क्यूब नहीं जमाई, आपने उसी बेवरेज की आइस क्यूब जमाई. So next point is use common sense, which is not common, and general knowledge, which is not general. Next point. Speak less and mean more. Normally people say speak less and listen more. I say speak less and mean more. बोलो कम और मतलब ज्यादा रखो. Like I ask these questions. I ask always flipped questions when I train people on interviews. All right, why should I not hire you? Because I know the person is prepared for the answer. Why should I hire you? Why should I not hire you? Where do you not want to see yourself after 5 years? Sir, on the same position. What same position? What's harm in being a manager? Stress interview. Okay? So you ask me, Manish, where do you not want to see yourself after 5 years? Ask me.
Manish, where do you not want to see yourself in the next 5 years?
In jail. So indirectly, I said I would always work with dignity. I would always work with full of my potential, and personally, professionally, socially, financially, I will not do anything that would land me up in the jail. Means no more grilling. That's it. Apne aap samajh gaya interview. Wow, what an answer. No more grilling. Speak less, mean more. That's it. Okay. 8th point. Don't be afraid to give your views in the meetings. Normally, we don't speak anything in the meeting. Boss keeps on asking. Even I keep on asking. Any questions? No. Any questions? No. Chal nikal jaldi ja, Manish jaldi bhag yahan se. Any questions? No. You should always ask questions and always participate in the meeting, because meeting is a golden platform for you to come into the eyes of your seniors. Otherwise, you would only die as another tree in the jungle. भीड़ का हिस्सा बन के रह जाओगे, अब ऐसे चले जाओगे. Meeting is the only place where you can show your existence, your presence to the extreme bosses. Ninth, always take up the opportunities. Like I'm asking you, who's going to ask me the question? Don't wait for others to start. Just grab the opportunity. Okay, always take up opportunities. Grab the opportunities. And 10th, the most important rule to survive, strictly follow first 9 rules. Okay, so please improve spoken English, please improve communication skills, and there is no harm in learning. Always learn. Okay, just be shameless when it comes to learning. Just be shameless. When I go to schools and colleges, मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ कहीं और क्यों जा रहे हो? सीधा मेरे पास आओ ना, या मेरे अकाउंट में पैसे डालो, मैं पढ़ाता हूँ. Just be shameless. So you also become shameless. Yes, I want to learn. 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 And try to understand the difference between friends and foes. If your friends are stopping you to learn, they're not your friends, they're your foes. Okay? So these are the things. So is there anything that you want to ask, anything regarding communication or interviews?
Manish, I had a question in mind from the 10 tips that you've given. The first one, improve communication skills. So coming back to interviews, that I've seen myself. Like, does fumbling or getting stuck in the interview come off as poor communication skills to the interviewer? Yeah.
Yes. So while fumbling, I'll give you a golden tip. Harshvardhan, which sentence is better? Sentence number 1 or 2? I went to market yesterday and I found some green vegetables. Or I went to market yesterday and I found some green vegetables.
Second one is more.
Always take a pause when you have fillers like ki, to, na, so, etc., etc. When you fumble, it's always good to take a pause.
They still need time though. क्योंकि habit बनाना.
It's okay. If you're taking time, then it's okay. Rather, see, consuming time is far better than giving the wrong impression. Moreover, always use tongue twisters. You will never have fumbling or stammering or stuttering or lisping in your life. Always use tongue twisters. So practice tongue twisters for good 15-20 days. How many of you know this psychological formula of giving up a bad habit or acquiring a good habit in just 21 days?
Replace it with another good habit.
Good that you know. So psychologically, it takes only 20 to 21 days to acquire any good habit or to eradicate any bad habit. It's a psychological sure shot, scientifically proven formula. Sir, 21 दिन तक, even I was very short tempered. See, I was born in Amritsar. So you can easily, get to know about my temperament and language. Then my entire childhood was in Ghaziabad. Okay. And I'm in Delhi now over the past 25-30 years. So you know how Ghaziabad boys are, and then Amritsari boys are, and the Delhi boys are. So since 2013, it's never been more than 10 or 11 times that I got angry. Because I started saying this to myself, मुझे तो गुस्सा आता है, I don't get angry. I don't get angry. ऐसे घर में घूमता, room में घूमता फिरता. I don't get angry. I don't get angry. I don't get angry. After 21 and 22 days, I have actually started feeling that I don't get angry. I don't fumble. I don't fumble. I want to improve my communication. So take a pause. Any other question? Is there anyone who want to ask something or say something before we wind up for the day?
Manish, you didn't give the tip, the classic one, the boss.
Sorry?
The 10 tips you gave, you didn't include the classic tip to survive. The boss is always right.
Yes, boss and customers are always right. But nowadays, the trends have changed. The bosses are more like a friend to the employees. पहले होता था, अब तो नहीं. Even, I know so many people who are working as bosses in the organization. They don't have their own cabin. They sit in the cubicle with their employees.
Wow.
Even when we used to work at this McDonald's and barista, our managers would wear dress like us and would work as a crew member. So times have changed. But good question though. Times have changed now. Even Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, they don't have their own office. They sit in the cubicle with the employees. I have read in their books, the autobiographies. But yes, boss is always right, even if the boss is wrong. Customer is always right, even if the customer is wrong. Okay, is there anything else who wants to say something or ask something?
Yeah, Manish,
note down my number. If you have any, yes, please.
Yeah, let's assume you are a candidate and I am the interviewer. And for my previous question, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's assume you are the candidate and I am the interviewer. And for my one of my previous question, you have mentioned or answered like you have faced one interview also which went well. So now my question is, why should I carry on with your interview, or why should I waste my time or spend my time in interviewing you?
Okay. So what I have understood is, if the interviewer asks you, are you interviewing with others? If you say yes, and then the interviewer asks, then why should I waste my time on you? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good question. Now, he or she knows that obviously, if you are here, then you might have gone to other companies as well. Good. Everyone knows that anyone in this world would never go into one company, because when you go to buy a piece of cloth, you go to so many showrooms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to buy a motorcycle, a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, you go to so many shops or showrooms, right?
Yes.
You want to order a pizza, you would funnel through Swiggy and then Zomato and then Uber Food, etc., etc. Of course, that's a human tendency. So interviewers know it. But yes, a very genuine and candid question. What if the interviewer is like very finicky? All right, is basically not I would say a pilot, but maybe is grilling you and say that why should I waste time on you? Then say, sir, I'm just keeping my options on. I have chosen the best 3 companies to work with, and I always believed in keeping my options on. और इसके साथ अब थोड़ा सा, it's not buttering, but yes, थोड़ा सा it is about preferences, because if you are going for the interview, then it is always for a cause, obviously, just for a reason or for a cause. And then you say, if it is a startup, for example, just a startup, then you say that who else could provide a golden platform for me to learn than a startup? Or if it is a reputed company already established, then say that yes, sir, I admit that I have been interviewing in other companies, but company A, जिसमें आप interview अभी दे रहे हो, this has been my very first priority because of these and these reasons. It could be Infosys, so they won't ask such questions because they know everyone would die to work with Infosys or TCS or Adobe or etc. etc. Okay, so that's the thing. So just be genuine. Just be genuine. Any further questions, my dear friends?
Sir, I think we've run out of time. Could be
okay, running out of time. All right. Note down
any closing words.
Yeah, if you have any query, you can contact me anytime regarding the interview. 9717 879813. I repeat, 9717879813. And don't send me hi, hello on WhatsApp.
Sir, can you please repeat?
Anything, just call me directly. Hello. फिर मैं आप टाइम निकाल के पूछूं कौन, फिर आपको पहचानो, सीधा उठा के फोन करो कि ये बोल रहा हूँ, यहाँ से बोल रहा हूँ, अपने सेशन लिया था सर, ये आपसे ये पूछना, बस बात खत्म. Okay, 9717879813. Lovely audience. Even I have to go for a meeting at 6. Lovely audience, wonderful smiling face, that's for sure. Okay, good questions that you asked. Okay, so thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. See you soon, some fine day.
Thank you so much for taking the time to impart your knowledge and confidence. Sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Great session.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
I hope everyone enjoyed.
Yeah, even I enjoyed too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sujesh. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, everyone, for attending, and I hope you all benefited from it. Do join us on 11 July at 6 p.m. for the second session. Thank you. I'll be ending this meeting.